you.
Yes, hello, I'm Marianne, and actually, as a really great bridge from the chart you showed on where the CEO's time actually goes to, my talk will be focusing on the things that I wish that I had studied in your position in university if I had just known what the CEO's time would actually go to. It's actually just extinguishing fires, fixing problems, managing your team and recruiting, or 80% of the time. So where do you get that? What does that actually mean? So these are some of the findings that I figured out meanwhile managing the Slush team, which currently is roughly 30 people year-round and grows to 2,300 volunteers for the events every November. So in short, I'm the CEO of Slush, which is one of the leading startup and tech events in the world. I'm also a really miserable student of industrial engineering and management who hasn't been able to complete a single course for the past 2 years. And I've also spent some time being an active in the Study Guild, or the Association of Industrial Engineering and Management in Aalto University, where I really miserably study at the moment. I've also been a gymnast, where I focused my time mostly on before joining Slush, and then done some volunteering before joining the Slush team in Aalto Entrepreneurship Society, which is something fairly close to student talks that you guys have over here. But to the lessons. Number 1, don't just study. Does someone recognize where the picture is taken? Because there's not many places with water in the world, right? That's taken from California, close to Big Sur, the Pacific Highway, where we were with the team of 15 students of industrial engineering and management. We figured that we wanted to go and organize a trip for ourselves to meet with entrepreneurs and companies all over the US, travel from New York to Seattle to San Francisco to Los Angeles and to Las Vegas. We organized the funding ourselves, organized the trip ourselves. We wanted to see the world. Be that, and I think since you guys are already here at the event, you can see that there's a benefit of not just focusing on studies. Be that volunteering, going to the parties, being in the board of your association, it can be anything. But if I think back to my studies, definitely what I remember or what were the best times for me were not the lessons or the lectures. They were the things that happened outside of the lectures. Or did I meet the people that I'm working with every day in the lectures? Not really. It was somewhere else. But as entrepreneurs, there's also another thing that is actually really valuable that you get out from doing some other things than just sitting in the lectures, which is the people. You are here with the builders of tomorrow, basically. Be that you're entrepreneurs, or you're going to work for big corporates, or stay in the university as researchers, you guys are still going to build the future. And as an entrepreneur, you always need a team. And usually, the more diverse your team is, the better you are. Of course, not in all of the cases, but that's very often the case. And this is something I really learned the hard way, since I've spent most of my time with just the industrial engineering and management students. And now, as the Slush team keeps on growing, and we have a high churn of people as it's a student organization, I really wish every day that I had learned to know people from outside of my major. Computer scientists, material scientists, whatever that is. It's so valuable to have a network of people, and now's the best time to build that network. I actually hate the word network because it has this like egoistic sound to it that you want to, know people for yourself. But you just need to have the skills as an entrepreneur, and you can't know everything yourself. So start building the network now. It's going to be a lot easier in the future if you do it now. Lesson number 3, which if someone would have told me as a freshman student of engineering that you should start studying public speaking, I would have probably laughed. But it's actually really funny. Everyone's talking about the post-fact world or the world of like where truth doesn't matter anymore. But if you think about it, just think about the Bible, for example. After all, it's just a book of stories written by a couple of people. And there's millions or actually billions of people on this planet who base their entire lives on that one book, that one story that someone has wrote. They make their life decisions based on that one book. People love stories. Numbers are great, facts are great, but you really need the skill to create those stories and tell those stories to actually get people on board on your side. And as an entrepreneur, it's not only pitching to investors or potential clients, it's a skill you need every day, really, when you're extinguishing those fires and fixing those problems. Be that your team has an internal problem, there's two different opinions and you need to find a way in between. Be that your number one client doesn't want to work for you anymore and you need to convince them back. The only way to do that, after all, is to be convincing enough that you can actually handle this. And to be convincing, you have to have the numbers. But to take you to the next level, you really need to be able to create the world, the story and the feeling around it. And now is your time to start working on that. Because public speaking is not easy for anybody. Some of the people have more gifts to that, some of people don't. But you really need to rehearse and rehearse and rehearse. You can start that now. How many of you, raise your hand, have had the experience of looking at a book and reading the page once and twice and the third time, and you're still thinking that where the fuck am I going to use this information in my life? Exactly. That's the feeling I had when I was studying as a freshman at the Guild of Industrial Engineering and Management on the lectures of management, of knowledge management, of strategic management, of work psychology. The books were filled of these theories about management, like knowledge cycles and hidden knowledge and tacit knowledge. I'm like, what is this? Where am I going to use this? I was really frustrated. And now today, I seek advice to be a better leader every day from my friends, from my team, from other entrepreneurs and CEOs, from internet articles, books, wherever that is. I seek more advice every day. And now today, I just wish that I had a chance to go back to school, or I actually have, but I'm still not going there, to reflect on actually like that someone has researched this thing, that they probably have good opinions. But when I was earlier into school, I didn't have the experience to reflect the theory that someone was actually trying to teach me. And then I just basically threw that into trash because I had nothing to reflect on those theories. So ditch the school for a while, or if not ditch, make sure that when you go to summer jobs, find something where you can actually take the knowledge that you're today sucking in and throughout the years sucking in, and take that knowledge into practice and then try to reflect that. Did you actually use it somewhere? Could you be better? Is this wrong? What do you think about it? Because I wish I had that chance back then. Fifth lesson is that after all, the diploma doesn't matter, it doesn't make a difference. It's great that you're having it, or you will have it, but that doesn't make you stand out from the crowd. I wouldn't be here had I just focused on my studies full time, worked towards a diploma. Had I just focused on doing the courses and the courses and courses and getting the A grades every day, I would never have volunteered at Slush, and I would never have joined the full-time team of Slush, because that would have been away from my full-time studies of getting the A grades. So make sure you have something else in your sleeve than just the diploma. They can be anything: sports, association, being a scout, whatever that is, but the more experience you have, usually the better. Especially if you have a chance to get leadership experience somewhere. That doesn't have to be much. For example, when I'm looking for new team members for Slush, I'm always just checking whether you've ran a board of your student association, or whether you've been a board member, because that's already a signal that you want to take responsibility. You want to be somewhere where things happen. And those are so great experiences for you to build a future leadership and be a better leader in the future. That's a great base. So those are things I'm at least looking for. And lastly, probably also the most difficult thing to teach and learn, and still the thing that I need most every day when I'm solving those problems and fixing those fires, is empathy. If someone was able to give me a magic wand that would just give everybody empathy, most of my problems would be solved. So try to think how you can help others. Try to think how you can step into someone else's shoes and view the world from his or her perspective. Because usually just like throwing your ego to the trash can and thinking like, how can I help this person, at some point it really gives back. Or then you're just working with someone who's a total jerk. But usually it gives back. So the next time you have a choice, try that one and see where it goes. So in short, don't rush for your studies. You can do something else in the meanwhile. Spend your time with finding people not just from your own faculty, but throughout the school. Build your network now. Practice storytelling and communications. That's super valuable. You can do it now. Reflect your learning and find places where you can actually put practice the skills you're learning. Fifth, the diplomas are not the thing that makes the difference. And lastly, empathy and helping others actually is going to have a huge impact on your future. Thank you.